Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and today let's fly an airplane that we haven't flown in a long time between two lovely airports in the Rocky Mountains. We're sitting here in the default Citation Longitude and we're going to fly it from Telluride to Aspen. This promises to be a lovely flight over some very good weather over here over the Rockies, so it should have some scenic views en route while having both a challenging departure as well as arrival. So follow me inside to our Citation Longitude cockpit, and from here we can go ahead and get the airplane powered and running. So let's go ahead with our cockpit inspection. We gotta start testing the standby power system. Gotta make sure the green light is on for at least 10 seconds before we move on with our continued procedures. Right, that's looking good. So standby power coming on. The emergency lights are armed upstairs and the landing gear lever is down. So batteries can come on, and I am going to connect the external power over here as well. And it's rather cold outside, just 5 degrees, so let's go ahead and turn on the APU as well in here. Alright, so power is coming up. Then let's do a quick check of our the lights outside, and everything is working indeed. So let's go ahead and turn all that stuff off again that we don't need yet, like so. Whoopsie. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. Very good. Cool, then let's go ahead and start our pre-flight procedures down here. So flight plan, we are going to depart KTEX, Telluride Regional, and our destination is going to be KASE. That's Aspen County. So for the SITs, we are going to fly at first direct Echo Tango Lima, since there are no published SITs over here. So Echo Tango Lima is what we got. Then from here we're going to fly along Victor 68 towards Mike Tango Juliet, load that up. And then from Montrose VOR we'll continue on Victor 361 towards Delta Bravo Lima, load that up. And then we can load up the approach, which is going to be the RNAV approach out of Delta Bravo Lima, load, thank you. Alright, next up into the VNAV settings, we'll continue on the climb page here. That's 250 knots below 20,000 feet. Remember, we're at 8,900 already, so that's basically 10,000 there. The climb schedule is looking good, the cruise schedule is looking good, and the descent schedule, well, we'll make that 250 knots between or below, yeah, actually give me 20,000 feet there again. Right, enter, and that is just perfect. Okay, we're going to continue on the performance with the weight and the fuel. So we're going to continue from here. Passengers, we got 8 passengers today at 170 pounds, plus we also have 200 pounds of cargo. Then we can go to the takeoff, synchronize fuel on board, and the landing, that is okay for us as well, but we do want 30 minutes of holding in here. Okay, perfect. So that should be good for our weights. Then let's continue with our takeoff data. So Telluride runway 27, weather, let's have a look. It's 250 at 10, gust 15, 10 miles, clear skies, temperature 5, QNH 3010. So whenever we see QNH, that's basically our moment to start doing something already. In this case, let me just quickly change our setting. So bar units is going to be inches, and then we can go ahead and set 3010. Set once, twice, and 3 times. Okay, so that's looking good. Then we can just load that up, use our ram air temperature. Runway is looking good. Takeoff config, flaps 1, anti-ice off, that all looks good. So that's our takeoff data, which we can accept. And now it's automatically transferred to the primary flight display. But do note it's only going to show up when the flaps are actually extended. So don't be surprised if you don't see that straight away. Alright, it's an IFR flight, so I'm just going to take some sort of IFR squawk up here. 7511 looks good to me. Alright, very cool. So, all that lovely stuff is set, then let's go ahead and do the rest of our procedures. So, first of all, how do we want this place to look? I kind of like the traffic map over here. I like the nav map over here, and well, technically speaking, I do like that as well. But what we can do if we want to just go to charts over here. No, thanks, I don't want Paderborn. Why ever I thought we would take that. But this is what I'd like, TELLURIDE Regional Airport. Very good. And as you can see, no charts available for the departure, so this is what we're going to take. Alright, cool. So that's basically that part completed. Then let's just go over here again. And what else did I mean to do? Aircraft system, just wanted to do a quick check. Temperatures selected and current looking good. Recirc fan low can stay where it is. Cabin pressure looks good as well. Landing elevation for Aspen is correct. Okay, exterior lights, just make sure that they're all set correctly. Looking good. And propulsion, normal, good as well. Okay, systems and optics then. Quick check that everything in our aircraft is shown correctly. Alright. So, not 100% sure to be honest on those down here. I suppose we're just going to leave them where they are and continue through our cockpit. So, what else have we left? Let's see, if we move to the right over here, that's our fuel boost pumps. Let's just turn them on for a moment. I want to see if we can get anything showing over there. Yeah, we can. Okay, fuel pressure looking good. So all that's missing is stuff for the taxi. Alright, so boost pumps back to normal. And that is alright. Cool. So we've basically got all the lovely stuff done in here. Then let's go ahead, bring me back into the main page. And then we can just go on the map and open up a full screen of it. Alternatively, could of course just do this. And just bring the map up over here into the plan mode. And then on the left side we could take some other stuff, like for example over here we could go for the pre-flight synoptic. That's one of the many possibilities of how we can use our systems. Okay, it wants a stabilizer trim, then let's give it a stabilizer trim. -4 units, looking good, flaps to go. And that should be that stuff completed. Alright, cool. So, initial altitude. We are going to climb up to 18,000. Or at least we are going to do that, provided I can actually get my altitude to match the 100s here. Suppose we might as well just check that in flight. Okay, runway heading is going to be, let's see that, 276. Always takes so long to dial that in. Here we go, 276. Then we can also press toggle buttons to prepare our flight directors. That's looking good. And with that, I would say we are pretty much ready to go down here. Okay, so the parking brake is set and the APU is running. We've got power. APU generator is on, so external power can go off. And then let's go ahead and start up our engines. So, throttle idle, engine run button going into run. Okay, that is all looking good. Let's see if we can just see the synoptic page here for a second. I just want to see if we can actually see our start pressure over here, because we are supposed to check it though I'm not 100% sure. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, start pressure is showing good. Okay, cool. So with that, let's go ahead and start engine number 2. So ignition is on, engine is running up. Okay, that's a good start on engine number 2. Let's go ahead and repeat for engine number 1. So engine set to run, start pressure is looking good, and engine 1 starts. Ignition is showing, N2 is increasing. We have ignition. Interestingly enough, the fuel flow is still indicating 0, but I suppose there may simply be a minimum value that the system can indicate. Like you saw, it just came up with 80 at first, so that probably explains it. Okay, so we've got 2 good starts. Then let's go ahead with our after start procedures, and that is a flight control check. So let's get the flight controls actually back in view, and then we can also get the synoptic page of flight controls. So here we go. Full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, and the rudder. Full left, full right, and neutral. Actually, if we just go full left again, look at that. It's going beyond the white marker. Well, now if I'm going full right, it's not. Look at that, it's actually not starting in the middle where the surface starts, but got a little bit of a rudder deflection there without like any input. Was it the same on any other control surface? No, these are looking good. Okay, not sure why that happens. Okay, speed brakes. Checked and retracted. Flaps going to 1. So flight instruments and avionics are looking good, and engine eyes protection buttons not required today, and that's the B4 taxi checklist complete. Okay, so taxi light going on. Should have had the anti-collision on as well. Stupid me, forgot that. Actually, it wasn't listed in the procedure though. I am running this one off the original manual from working title, and that part was not in. Okay, so everything looking good for our takeoff down here. Not sure why it says no takeoff up there. Really not sure about that. Well, doesn't matter. We've done our stuff. Okay, cool. So, lights are on. The parking brake is coming off. And then let's go. Taxi. Out to the left. And we'll go via Alpha Alpha 4, Romeo 27. Brake check. Okay, clear on that right hand side. Clear on the left hand side. Okay, steering works. Flight control indications during the turn are correct. We'll check the same when we go to the right hand side up there. But we should be good with that for now. Okay, so next up, let's check the thrust reversers. So reverser deploy indication is correct. Then we can stow them away again. And that's looking good. Alright, cool. So let's start with the before takeoff checks then. Flaps are in 1, set for takeoff, speed brakes retracted, trim, set for takeoff, eyes protection system checked and off. Takeoff speeds are checked to be displayed. Speed knob is set to FMS up here. Okay, crew briefing. Left seat takeoff, runway 27, flaps 1, noise abatement procedure 2, and for the takeoff itself, speeds 14, 16, 29. and we can retract the flaps once we've got more than V2 plus 20. So above 149 we can retract our flaps. 200 knots at first, and then later on we are going to go to 50. Initial climb, altitude 18,000, even though I don't know why I can't just set this to become 18,000 exactly. Really not sure. Okay, it works. Ah, okay, because I can't read. Push to fine-tune. Okay, so once I pushed it, I can actually tune it. Alright, that was my mistake then. Easy problem to solve. Okay, and with that we are basically ready to go, so let's go ahead and line ourselves up on runway 27 for our departure. Transponder is going to stay on automatic. Quick look down on the anti-ice system. Pitot-static is in norm, that's perfect, exactly where we want it. And then flight controls are still free, as we can see. And that's runway 27, ready and lined up. Okay, so landing lights on, and that's it. Okay, lights are on. Quick check on the CAS. We only got cabin altitude down here. That is expected, and that is totally normal. Alright then, let's go full screen. On here we bring up the map. And with that, we are good to go. Alright, so takeoff. Okay, throttles in the TOD tent. Power set. $80 knots, checked. V1, rotate. Positive climb, gear up. We'll keep accelerating straight away over here. A little bit of turbulence. Okay, nav. Level change. Okay, 1000 AGL. Climb thrust set. Accelerating and flaps up. Very good, flaps are up. And autopilot on. You can also take the auto throttle on, by the way. Here we go. Okay, climb thrust set on the auto throttle as well, and we are off and away. Lovely angle down here, isn't it? A really good climb angle. Okay, after takeoff and climb checklist. Landing gear up, flaps up, throttles, climb, ice protection. Let's see. Off. Okay, pressurization. Let's have a quick look at what it's doing down there. Actually descending at 1,000 feet a minute. That's interesting. It should, as far as I'm aware, actually just maintain the destination landing elevation then. Well, we'll see what it's gonna do. We will see. Alright, cool. So then we are holding at the altimeters. In the meantime, we can continue the climb, looking for flight level 250 for today's flight, and that is set. Okay, nice climb here at almost 5,000 feet a minute. Right, set standard. Standard cross check, passing flight level 183 now. Checked. Okay, and then we're through 180, so signs can go off. Seatbelts can go off as well. And APU can go off as well. Alright, cool. That's the after takeoff and climb checklist completed. Then we're on the way. We might just about select a little higher range on the displays here, like that. Passing 20,000, we start accelerating. Look at that, down there is our runway. That gives you a good idea of how lovely of a climber that longitude really is there. Really like it, I really do. Okay, I started to catch a couple of bumps here, but 300 knots should bring us out quickly. Obviously, speed reduction is something you should consider when you're encountering turbulence, but just look at the rate of climb we see over here, and then we can basically start reducing it already. So let's go vertical speed down here, plus 3,000. So like that, if I pulled out the speed in order to gain altitude quicker, it would not have done much. At least not at this point. Okay, 2,000 to go, 2,000 feet a minute. I have a feeling we could climb even higher than 250, but it's a 20-minute flight, so I rather not do that straight away. Indeed, SimBrief even suggested level 210 as a cruise, and not even 250, so I'm rather happy up here. Okay, 1,000 to go. Vertical speed, 1,000 feet a minute, and here we go. Okay, match that heading. Looking good, and then we're about to go into the cruise already. So, a very quick check down here for the performance landing data. Let's see. No, our destination isn't Telluride, our destination is Aspen. That's better. Okay, weather, let's see if we can get a METAR. Here we go, 330 at 6, 10 miles, clear sky, 6 degrees, 2994. Okay, so let's pre-select that. Here we go, 2994. Okay, reaching level 250. And here we are. Right, cool. So we'll just leave it running like that, not a pilot, and we continue with the preparation. So wind to 330 at 6. Clear sky, 6 degrees, 2994. Looks very good indeed. Alright, cool. So we're just gonna take over all of that. Landing runway. Yeah, that's the next thing for us to check. So suppose we're just gonna go onto this. Charts. Oh, come on, you do have charts available. What did I say? Right, so runway 33 and runway 15. With that wind, 321 at 6, 320 at 6 it should probably read. We'll probably fly into runway 33 today. So let's see what kind of arrivals we've got available. No stars, and only a couple of approaches down here. I tell you honestly, that roaring fog visual onto runway 15 over here looks quite tempting, if I'm honest. Really looks quite tempting. However, it's only available when visual approaches runway 15 are in progress, and we don't expect to fly that today. We do expect to fly runway 33. Obviously, we could just take 5 knots of tailwind. The tailwind limit for the longitude is 10 knots, so we could absolutely do it. But I somehow feel that it would be nicer to just go and fly that instrument approach down to a circling. Not that it would matter much, but a small thing though that I know some of you will be asking yourself, so that is down here. Looking at the chart, you can see ceiling and visibility are 6,000 foot ceiling, 10 miles of visibility. But you've got an airport elevation of 7,835, so that ceiling of 6,000 feet up there is always above the airport elevation. So we need a cloud ceiling at roughly 13,900 feet in order to be allowed to fly that approach. And you'll quickly see why. It's a complete visual approach, and you've got approaches leading above Capitol Peak down here, where you got to be in like 15,500 feet, or 14,500 recommended for flying directly over the mountain up here. So that's why you've got those maneuvers. Okay, so that much for the Roaring Fog visual. We aren't going to fly it, so can basically stop that point right here. We've got the choice between a localizer approach and an on-off approach. I'll tell you honestly, personally I'm more of a fan of on-off approaches, because they're just easier to fly. Or easier to fly, meaning there's less work for me to do. So that's exactly what I'm going to do then. We'll fly the on-off approach onto runway 33. So just to finish up with the landing data over here, config full, no anti-ice, thrust reversers. Okay, will be stowed, line of factor looks good, auto throttle, it's going to stay off. And with that we can accept our landing data. 8,000 feet available, 4,000 required. Oh, just give me a moment. Still says runway 15 in there. So it's supposed to do that? Where can we change our runway? Up here, okay. 33, here we go. So weather's still there. That's looking good. Config is good. Okay, accept landing data. So now, interestingly enough, we now need 4,600. Well, we have 7,000. But why is that? Well, we got a headwind instead of a tailwind now, and we need more runway. Not sure where that comes from. I mean, that doesn't make any sense, does it? Displaced threshold? Yes, there is. Okay. Maybe it's taking that displaced threshold down there in account. Maybe that's the reason why. Alright, cool. So the required length here might take the displaced threshold in account. Even though it's strange that the actual landing distance available here is less, because that is from the display threshold. But, well, I suppose it's going to be fine like that as well. So we'll just keep it. Alright, in terms of the flight plan itself, what do we have down there? Okay, enter the approach to runway 15. Then we can cross-check that down here real quick. So starting up at Red Table VOR, DBL. Then we've got HEBEP, Alex, Mafmu. Okay, so we got Red Table. The holding that we can basically take out. Don't intend to fly that. Remove hold. Yes, thanks. So we got Red Table, HEBEP, Alex, Mafmu. 3.3 degree glide is in here, and down to Alex, that may be correct. After Alex, we've got a 6.5 degree glide, so we've got to make sure that by the time we reach Alex, we've reduced down to the final approach configuration. Okay, so that is alright then. And in case I missed approach, so climb right on a 14,000 direct to Linz, and then on track 247 towards Gleno. So we got Linz and then Gleno, and that is looking alright. Any limitations here? No. Okay. Well, perfect. That shall do. Okay, so we're basically all set up for our approach, and what I'm gonna do is take that one full. Then top of descent is in half a minute already, so that's not too far off. So we're gonna split the here we go, and then I'm gonna take the charts in here. Aspen taxi chart, no thanks. Aspen on-off chart, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, perfect. So reaching our top of descent, let's go and select that down. Starting off at, well, next limitation is 13.7, so why not go there straight away? Okay, looks like I pressed VNAV a bit late. Let's go vertical speed. Then catch that profile. So, vertical speed target is 2,800, okay. So I might just have to convince the plane down here to catch that path again. Give me 3,500, and then we can turn on the seatbelt straight away. Speed target's already going back towards 250, that's fine. Well, I promised you a good view of the Rockies. Looks like I promised you a bit much. Well, over there's your good view of the Rockies. That's gotta do. Now, honestly, it looks like a small layout, so over in Aspen we should have good weather already again, so I do suspect that we'll be through this rather quickly. Okay, approaching the VNAV path. Should capture any moment now. Here we are, VNAV path. Okay, looking good. The only thing I am going to do for now is a slight deviation so that we don't cut into the approach over here when we pass red table. So I'll just go radar vector, tiny bit off to the left, and then we'll come in on a straight vector. Okay, so heading, it can give me something like 010, and that should provide us with a little nicer interception. Okay then, let's see, descent checklist, pressurization, landing elevation. 7680 looking good, APU as desired, we're gonna leave it off. Altimeters at the transition level, well, we're 1,000 above that now, so let's just go ahead. Set altimeter 29904. We've got 29904 cross-check passing 18.6. Now. Checked. And exterior lights as needed. So below the transition in the US, I'm always going to put the landing lights on already, since there is basically VFR traffic allowed to be flying right within this area. Right, cool, and that's the descent checklist complete. So that's about as easy as it gets over here. Then next up, let's just go back to vertical speed mode over here. We'll just do 1,000 feet a minute because I want to fly a little bit around that VOR. Okay, -1 degree. We're entering some clouds, so give me some engine anti-ice, please. Coming on, and confirmed on the CAS down here to be operating. Alright, cool, so we're almost there. Gonna fly around the station and start the approach like that. And at Delta Bravo Lima I want my speed to be down already towards 200. So we'll take it out of FMS speed into manual speed control in a few moments. But first I just want to get a bit closer to Delta Bravo Lima. I heard that the speed is reducing quite well in the longitude, but we'll put that to test in a few moments. Okay, so manual speed, and then let's just bring that back towards 200 knots. Here we go. So, let's see what's gonna happen now. But the speed indeed seems to be coming back quite nicely. So, quick look out the front. Everything looking good. We just gotta be aware. The MSA in the area here is 15.7, so we are operating below the MSA right now. Always a good combination, below MSA and inside clouds. But then again, we know where the procedure starts over the VOR, which is 13.7, so I'm not too concerned there. Okay, give me the fine-tuning. 13.7, here we go. Okay, coming out the clouds at the bottom. Okay, direct red table. Here we go, that's looking okay. Nav. Well, let's start reducing our speed, flight level change, and we are gonna go for 200 knots. Oh, well, snow down there, looking alright though. I think I can see the field down there, maybe? Might be wrong though. Okay then, reducing speed 180. Then let's go flaps 1. Approach checklist, landing data confirmed. Ice protection as needed. Yeah, we'll keep the anti-ice on for now. There seems to be a little layer over here. Might cause a bit of icing, so we're just gonna keep it on. Okay, flight instruments and avionics are set. Minimums. Well, that's a good point. I do believe we forgot to set those. So it should be under utilities. Minimum, here we are. And we're a Cat Bravo airplane, so it's going to be 10,220. 10220 barometric. Enter. Okay, there comes a bit more icing. Okay, approaching the final descent. Let's on the approach mode. Can we? Nah, it doesn't want to do it yet. Okay, then we'll just continue our descent normally on the profile here. 12.9 and VNAV is armed. Okay, so approaching the final descent. Then let's go. Gear down. Flaps 3. Speed back to 160. I got VNAV path capture. So at HEPAP we should have 12.9 and thereafter we are going down 12.2 for Alex. Okay, let's set 12.2. And we are now over at HEPAP, 12.9 looking good. So we are right on the glide. Okay, field in sight. Over there it is. Okay, speed going back towards 133 for the approach. Okay, flaps full. Before landing checks. Landing gear, down 3 green, flaps full, exterior lights. Set. Okay, speed brakes retracted, cast checked. Then autopilot off. And here we go. Flight director off as well. Gonna keep the auto thrust for now. And here we go. Okay, set. Missed approach altitude 14,000. Set. Okay, autopilot off. Auto throttle off. And that's it. So 6.5 degree descent, and it definitely shows. can see a runway down there. Just look at this from the outside. It looks almost like an emergency descent. You can see that from the other side as well. It's absolutely lovely terrain down here. It's really beautiful, isn't it? Okay, back into the cockpit. A little bit more power, maybe. Something like that. Okay, that's a field. And just descending straight down into the puppies right now. Can see them over there. You might have to switch to 4K resolution to be able to see them. But I can tell you one thing. In the sim, puppies are easier to see than in real life in most cases. Okay, here we go. Right on the puppy. So, my first longitude landing in a while. Let's see how that's gonna go. Okay, power idle. Okay. 2 landings for the price of 1. But at an altitude like that, that's fine with me. Okay, we've got reverse and speed brakes. 80 knots. Okay, manual braking here. Out of reverse. And Alpha 5 got our name written on it. Okay, vacating in Alpha 5, and we're gonna park straight in front of that terminal over there. But at first, let's get clear of the runway, and let's do the after-landing checklists. A little positive on that landing, but high-altitude airport, so that's not really too surprising. Okay, the runway is vacated, so let's do the after-landing procedures. Reversers are stowed, flaps, well, a little bit of snow here, but there was nothing on the runway, so I don't expect contamination there. So flaps are up, ice protection, we can turn off the engines and leave the rest where it is. Exterior lights, so that's the landing lights coming off, and that's the after-landing procedure complete. Alright, so parking just over on the right hand side there. Give me some power, please. Here we go. So that's a parking over there. Taxi light coming off. And here we go. Parking number 2. That looks like it's ours. Right, and here we are, parking brake set. Okay, so throttle's idle, parking brake is set, engine ice protection off, and then the engine buttons we can turn off straight away. Don't need the APU, we are just going to shut it straight down. Okay, so left engine off, right engine off, battery can take it. Okay then, emergency light switch off, standby power switch off, APU off. So engines are nicely coming down, anti-collision light off, seatbelts off, and then we can turn off the batteries as well. And with that, our flight is completed already. So, lovely quick trip here. And, well, I do admit we didn't see as much as I hoped we would, but nonetheless it was a beautiful scenic approach and it was a beautiful scenic departure, so what else can you ask for? For sure, an absolutely lovely little flight, and with that I'm gonna leave you to it. So at times I do absolutely feel like it's worth getting back to some of the aircraft you haven't touched in a while, and the Longitude certainly was one of them. Ever since the Aircraft and Avionics update came out and updated the Longitude to what it is now, I really like it, but it's just been a time since I flew it the last, so I figured, hey, let's give it a go, and the weather forecast over here was very good as well, so what else could you possibly ask for? That's gonna be it today. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you did like the video, be sure to leave a like on YouTube as well, as it does really help out with the algorithms and the channel. If you're up for more, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and if you really like what I'm doing, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you for watching, and I see you all again on the next one.